Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the diving Armour Narval. This watch is going to be on Kickstarter in, I think it's about 35 days. And this watch was lent in. It's kind of a tour watch from Random Rob, but it was lent in by the Diving Armour Company. We're chatting a little bit with I think he's the owner, or at least a contact of Diving Armour. Checking out the bezel action here as I talk. It's a very unique piece. I've never seen a watch like this before, so I really appreciate how unique this is. A lot of watches tend to look the same, like some with a rotating bezel, some without, but yeah, this is very neat. Still nice that they have the date at the 6 o'clock here, even though the crown is up here, so not sure what kind of maneuvering they had to do there, but very nice. Let's take a quick look at the packaging it came in. This watch is a prototype, and I'm not sure if this is the production packaging, but it does say Diving Armour here on this nice leather sleeve case thing. Very, very simple. I like small packaging like this. I don't need big old boxes. And it did come with this strap, which in the unboxing I couldn't really figure out how it worked, but this rotating end link here has a position in here for your normal 22 millimeter lugs, so you can put straps on here, rubber, leather, whatever you want. Needle strap. Needle might, yeah, I guess a needle would work. I'm not sure how that would. I probably wouldn't do a needle. It probably would bind up on here, I guess, but anyway. So the other strap would go here, so it is a little bit offset, but it has a crown up here anyway, so very neat. I did not put this on the strap at all. I'm more of a bracelet guy. And this does fit my 6.5 inch wrist. I've taken out all the links, and I did have to bump this out a little bit as it gets warmer during the day, but fits very well. Takes a little bit of getting used to, though, having a crown up here. So, lumed ceramic bezel insert, single dome sapphire crystal. Oh, before we get into all the specs, the Kickstarter price on this is $399. I saw that on their website. I will leave a link to their website in the description below. It's almost all brushed. It does have a little bit of polished on the edge right here, so that looks pretty neat. I like that look with the brushed and then polished right on the edge and then brushed again. Kind of looks like a integrated bracelet, even though it's technically not. I like how it tapers out here. So it's 22 millimeter lug width, and then it tapers out to 28 and a half, and then it tapers back down to 20, down to here. It has a nice engraved case back, very deeply engraved here. I guess that looks like a diver's helmet. So let me know if you guys have seen a watch like this before. I don't know if this is a vintage inspired watch. I've really not seen this design before. So the movement, big plus, it has an automatic Miyota 9015 movement. You can see the nice smooth sweep of the second hand there, the 8 beats per second versus 6 beats per second of the typical micro brand movement, which would be a Seiko NH35 or NH36. It just is a difference of the date with the day or just the date by itself. 200 meter water resistance. So let's go over the dimensions of this watch, as it is a unique design. Couldn't really figure out the best way to measure the lug to lug. So what I did is I measured from the top of the crown to this protruding center link here, and that measurement is 52 millimeter. On the website, they have lug to lug at 43.5. I'm not sure how they got that, because if I fold this down and then measure to this position here, that comes in at, I believe it was 44 and a half. Sorry, 45, I guess. It's kind of a weird watch. Oh, it was 44 and a half. It's kind of a weird watch to measure. So from this point right here to right there, that measures in at 44 and a half. Case diameter, so-called diameter, is 40. I measured from this edge here to this edge here. It's 40 millimeter. Thickness I measured in at 13. Their website says 12 and a half. So this is a prototype. Some things may change, or they might have measured it from different areas, but I measured it at 13. And I mentioned lug width is 22, tapers up 28 and a half, and then back down to 20. This crown, which seems really gigantic, which it is, but it still measures at 8.5, so I guess it's not as big as I thought it was, but it's still a large crown. Here it is next to my Seiko SKX009 for size reference. The diameter on this is 42. Lug to lug is 47. Actually, I'll use this to compare the lume at the end of the video here. Maybe you can see the difference in that second hand sweep. SKX is 6 beats per second, and then Narval is 8 beats per second. The second hand's lined up pretty closely there. That's kind of neat. 316L stainless steel, of course. So operating the crown, it's not too bad if you push this down all the way. It is a large crown. It's not quite as easy as a typical dive watch, but it still works well enough. It takes a little getting used to being sideways, but it works. So put this in the 10-10 position. I am kind of catching my finger on this edge here. It's a little sharp, but it's nothing crazy. You're not going to cut your finger. As I mentioned, this is a prototype watch. I was talking to the guy over there at Diving Armour. It sounds like they may be changing the clasp on this. So this is, I've seen this kind of clasp before in some other watches. It's got the ratcheting dive extension. You can just push it back in, but in order to pull it out, you have to push in these dual deployment buttons here, pusher buttons, whatever you want to call it. Then opens like that. But as I mentioned, I had to take all the links out, and well, it's on the farther out micro adjust. So maybe you could go down to about 6 1/4, or maybe even 6 inches with this. It's kind of cold in the studio here, so I may not need the extension. Yeah, it fits pretty good right now, but if I were to go outside, I would need to extend it a little bit, and it's very easy to do that. I do like how easy this is to micro adjust, quick adjust without any tools. So, but it is kind of a thick and chunky clasp, which, you know, for a dive watch, kind of suits the watch. So let me know in the comment section what you think about the clasp, or anything else perhaps that they could change on this watch. Like I said, this is a prototype. So here we are on my 6 1/2 inch wrist. It is kind of weird to, not weird, just strange to look at it, and there's like no crown, right, where you would expect it to be, but it's up there, so very cool. I appreciate them sending it over, or Rob letting me check it out. So let's zoom out here for a little bit different perspective, and then we can move on to the lume. It is next to the SKX again. One of my favorite watches. All right, we can check out the lume. Yeah, they're looking for feedback, so just drop them down in the comment section as your thoughts. You know what, let's zoom in on the dial again, and then we can look at the lume. It does have this single dome sapphire crystal, so you do get some distortion. There we go. The camera angle is a bit different than my eye angle, so I kind of like the look of that with the distortion. I think my SKX has a double dome sapphire crystal. Yeah, you don't get that distortion at the extreme angles. Nice applied indices, printed logo, printed information down there at the bottom, Narval Automatic 200. So very cool. I like the design of this watch overall. All right, come right back with the lume. Well, definitely has a good amount of lume, especially for a prototype. Again, I don't know if it's going to be improved for the production model, but it's plenty good lume right now. It is brighter than the SKX 009 on the right. And I really do like the lumed bezel inserts as well. And the tip of the second hand is lumed. Kind of small lume on that second hand, but it does the job. So if you could leave some comments below, I would appreciate it. Like the video and subscribe if you have not. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.